St. George Musical Theater is not exactly a startup. We were dark for 6 years. So when we rebooted, we really were starting from the ground up. What happens when you have a very small staff is you're forced to do everything yourself. You tend to be very self-confident, is the right word, about what you can do. And what happens is you quickly find out that when you try to do everything yourself, you're going to make some trade-offs. The quality of something is going to suffer. And so that's why I realized we had to start outsourcing this, and that I was hoping to find somebody who could maintain that same quality, the same standard that I had, and yet do it in a much better, faster, and error-free way. That's why we decided to contact Flitch Creative. I had known Flitch Creative before. They had worked and helped me on my own professional, personal website, and so I already had a relationship there, which was great. The difference in quality is readily apparent. I have a very, very high standard, and so when I looked around at what some different options were, it became readily apparent to me that why would I choose somebody else when I already have a relationship with Flitch Creative? This was a much bigger task. There was a lot more at stake. I'm now the CEO of a nonprofit arts organization. A lot more people, hopefully, are going to see what we do, and there's a lot more riding on it. So it was even a little more pressure-packed than your own personal company or organization. It worked out really, really nice, and I could not be happier. I'd like to say there's probably 3 things that we appreciate about Flitch Creative that are most important. First of all, and this is very important in an environment where there is a lot of immediacy and urgency, and that is very quick turnaround. So it's very important to me that I request some projects, get done quickly, and so I would say productivity and turnaround time is one thing I really appreciate about Flitch Creative. The second thing I appreciate is their standard and their creativity. I'm in a creativity business, and so you would think I'm the most creative person possible, and that's not really true. It's really interesting what has happened over the few years. I did marketing and public relations for St. George Musical Theater years ago, and in a short space of time, the advertising environment has completely changed. It used to be, you'd be basically advertised in the newspaper, the radio, or direct mail. And in a space of 6 to 10 years, that has completely changed. It's much more complicated now. And so you really have to step back and ask yourself, am I really an expert in this environment anymore? It was great to use Flitch Creative because, as their name would indicate, they're very creative people. The third thing that I appreciate about Flitch Creative is the relationship. Results are always going to matter more, but if you can get results and you can have a relationship with an organization that's open, flexible, nice to you, respects you, and is fun to collaborate with, that's really a home run. And that's very, very rare, I've found. They have a high standard, like I have a high standard, and yet they're just good people to collaborate with. But one thing that's really interesting about Flitch Creative is how flexible and versatile is maybe a better word that they've become. So when you're running an organization, there's always a temptation to think, I'll bring people into my staff, and then I can kind of control what they're doing. They'll have a greater determination or dedication because they're now staff. That's really a risky proposition in today's market. It's hard to find really talented people that really have a background and an expertise. Let's say you want to create a poster, but you also want to create ads for your website. You want to shoot video, you want to shoot photo stills. These are all things that one person would be very difficult to find somebody who is an expert in all of those things. This allows me the flexibility of not to have to spend too much on payroll and then worry that I'm getting somebody who is a jack of all trades but master of none. This is the beauty of outsourcing. As we have grown and our success has been really stratospheric. It's been fantastic, and I believe that Flitch Creative has been a big part of that. But what you learn is what to outsource and what to bring in-house to do. And that's why we have this great relationship with Flitch Creative. It's very cost efficient, it's very time efficient, and quite frankly, it's worry-free. Branding requires that you outsource to a certain degree to people who know exactly what you're looking for and can deliver it very quickly, very cost efficiently. One of the many things that we appreciate about Flitch Creative is their versatility. They even surprise me once in a while with something, hey Bruce, what about this idea? And I go, hey, I hadn't thought of that. It's great. So that's always refreshing. It's really hard to know what is, I don't like to use the word trendy, but whatever is the most current tools, the current standards and practices which are changing in the digital world. I think I know what I'm good at. I want to stick to that, which is the production side of the house, the artistic side of the house. And as we grow, and we're going to grow, and we're hopefully going to make a major announcement here pretty soon about a brand new theater, it's going to offer us some opportunity to reach more people. That's what you're always trying to do, try to grow the business. And we also want to maintain a certain consistency in that standard. Branding has to do with people becoming familiar with who you are. So when they see certain ads, certain graphics, they go, oh, they recognize that's St. George Musical Theater. And we just want to do more of that. That's basically what we want to do. Get a better reach and also be flexible. So if they say, maybe we need to refresh this part of your brand, we can take a look at it. We can trust that they've done their homework. That's always nice because then I don't have to keep on top of all the technology and all the marketing, concepts that are out there. That's really, really great. As I look to the future, I think us continuing to grow as a really valuable partnership together, and our success is their success and vice versa. So we look forward to many years working together. I can't recommend them highly enough.